Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever felt like your business's technology is just complete chaos? Like you're constantly fighting fires just to keep things running? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on a solution that's all about bringing order and strategy to that chaos. Let's jump in. So does this scenario sound just a little too familiar? 1 minute, everything's humming along, and the next, your main server crashes. Of course, right before a huge deadline. Or maybe your team feels like they're just constantly playing whack-a-mole, lurching from one crisis to the next with absolutely zero time to think strategically. That reactive cycle is a massive drain on your time, your money, and your morale. But what if there was a totally different way to operate?
You know, for the longest time, the go-to IT model was something called break-fix. It's simple. Something breaks, you frantically call someone to fix it, and then you get hit with a bill you weren't expecting. It is 100% reactive. But now, let's flip that on its head. The proactive model is all about preventing problems before they can even happen, and you do it all for a predictable, flat monthly fee. The whole mindset shifts from just fixing what's broken to constantly optimizing your entire system.
Okay, so how do you actually make that leap? How do you go from that frantic firefighting mode to calmly future-proofing your business? Well, you find the right partner, and that's where the hero of our story comes in.
Meet the Managed Service Provider, or MSP for short. Think of an MSP as your expert IT department, but on demand. They're a third-party partner who takes total ownership of managing, monitoring, and maintaining all of your tech. And the really important words here are proactive and partner. They're not just sitting by the phone waiting for something to go wrong. They are always working in the background to keep you running smoothly, all for one predictable subscription.
The whole philosophy of an MSP really rests on these 4 pillars. It all starts with being proactive, not reactive. And they make that happen with something called RMM. That's 24/7 remote monitoring and management, which basically means they have eyes on your systems around the clock. You get all of this covered under that predictable subscription price, and it usually includes a whole suite of different services. All right, so that's the big idea. But what do you actually get? What does a managed service provider do on a day-to-day basis? Let's pop the hood and take a look. Most of their services fall into 4 main buckets. First, they manage your core tech infrastructure. Then, they handle the absolutely critical world of cybersecurity. They also help you navigate the cloud. And last but not least, they provide direct support to your team. Let's quickly break each of these down. First up, infrastructure. This is the bedrock of your company's tech. Your servers, your network, your data storage. The MSP's job is to keep this foundation rock solid, making sure everything is running at peak performance so your business never skips a beat. Next up is cybersecurity, and honestly, this one is huge. We're talking way beyond just antivirus software. This is about advanced threat detection and constant security monitoring. And here's the kicker. They also help you stay compliant with all those complex regulations, like GDPR or HIPAA. This isn't just about preventing hacks, it's about protecting you from massive fines and damage to your reputation. Pretty much every business is using the cloud now, right? But the real question is, are you using it efficiently? An MSP can manage that whole journey for you. Whether it's moving to the cloud for the first time or just making sure your current setup is optimized for the best possible performance without wasting money. And finally, let's talk about your people. Because when an employee can't print a document or log into their account, work just stops. MSPs provide that 24/7 help desk so your team can get fast, expert help right when they need it. It's all about keeping everyone productive and happy. Now, this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The model is super flexible. If you don't have any IT staff, you can go with a fully managed plan where they handle everything. If you do have an IT person on our team, a co-managed approach lets the MSPs support and supercharge them. And of course, if you just need help with a single server upgrade or a specific migration, you can always hire them on a project basis. So we've covered what an MSP is and what they do, but let's get to the real question, the one that actually matters. Why should you care? How does this actually help your bottom line and turn your IT from a money pit into a growth engine? Benefit number 1 is all about the money. You get to trade in those chaotic, unpredictable IT bills for one simple, predictable monthly fee. Budgeting becomes a breeze, and because you're preventing all that costly downtime and those emergency repairs, you almost always end up spending less on your tech in the long run. Now think about this for a second. How much would it cost to hire a full-time cybersecurity expert, a cloud specialist, and a network guru? A fortune, right? Well, with an MSP, you get access to an entire bench of these specialists for way less than the cost of hiring just one of them. It is a massive talent upgrade.
I know we've talked about security, but it's so important it's worth hitting again. MSPs give small and medium-sized businesses access to the kind of enterprise-level security tools that used to be only for the big guys. This is about seriously leveling up your defenses and reducing your overall business risk.
What happens if the absolute worst-case scenario hits? A flood, a cyber attack, a major outage. An MSP puts bulletproof backup and disaster recovery plans in place to make sure that no matter what happens, you can get your business back online and operating quickly.
Okay, the benefits are pretty clear. So the next logical step is figuring out how you go about finding the right MSP for your company, a real partner that's going to help you grow.
Here's a pretty simple 4-step guide. First, evaluate their technical skills. Do they have the certifications to back up their claims? Second, verify their track record. Don't be afraid to ask for and check their client references. Third, and this might be the most important, make sure you align their services with your actual business goals. And finally, have a plan for the transition. A good MSP will have a really smooth onboarding process.
Now, this whole field is moving incredibly fast. Proactive IT is always evolving to keep up with new tech and new threats. So, what's just around the corner?
The next big wave is all about smart automation. We're already seeing AI being used to create self-healing systems, tech that can literally fix itself before a person even notices there's a problem. Things like robotic process automation are taking over routine tasks, and MSPs are now getting into managing all the complex new stuff, like the Internet of Things. It's a really exciting time.
And that really brings us right to the heart of it all. The way we think about managed service providers has totally shifted. They're not just some vendor you call when your email is down anymore. They've become true strategic partners. They boost your security, they get your costs under control, and they give you the technological foundation you need to grow your business. Really, the question today isn't, can I afford an MSP? It's, can I afford not to have one?